Good afternoon, all. Welcome to this program of celebration of Gandhi Jayanti. Thank you for all being here. I request you to please sit down. Do not use mobile phones during the session. So we will start. Namaste all. Good afternoon. I, Pravalika B, BNYS CMD Yoga, second year SVYASA. Now I cordially invite our dignitaries to please be on the dais. Yes. There is no lamp brilliantly shining, the lamp of silence. So let us start today's session with a silence of prayer, 3 rounds of Omkara. Please sit in any comfortable position. Keep your back erect. Keep your neck erect. Make yourself comfortable, relaxed. 3 rounds of Omkara. Inhale deeply. Praying Lord Ganesha, I welcome Ms. Mrinalini and Ms. Sulabha, first year BNYS students for an invocation song.
Gajavadana Gananada Prabhu, Gajavadana Gananada Prabhu, Shankata Harana Bhavabhaya Harana, Shankata Harana Bhavabhaya Harana, Veda Vidayaka Modaka Hasta, Veda Vidayaka Modaka Hasta, Vidyadayaka He Mama Bandhu, Vidyadayaka He Mama Bandhu, Gajavadana Gananada Prabhu, Gajavadana Gananada Prabhu, Prabhu.
Thank you. Now I request Professor M.K. Sridhar Sir, Honorable Registrar SVYASA, for a welcome address.
Namah Sadase Sadasaspade. All of us have gathered here today to celebrate the 153rd birthday of Mahatma Gandhi, Gandhi Jayanti celebrations on 2nd of October. On this occasion, I am most honored to welcome the guest of honor of today's celebration, Professor Meena Deshpandeji. She is the Honorary Director of the Gandhi Center of Science and Human Values attached to the Bharati Vidya Bhavan. So we welcome her on this occasion and also to inspire our students with respect to the message of Mahatma Gandhi. I also invite our Honorable Chancellor, Dr. H.R. Nagendraji, internationally renowned scientist, as well as the founder, Chancellor of our SVYASA Yoga deemed to be university. I welcome Dr. H.R. Nagendraji on your behalf. I welcome Professor Subramaniamji, Honorable Advisor to Honorable Chancellor, formerly the Pro-Chancellor for SVYASA University, as well as the principal of Vivekananda College, Madurai, and the director of National Defense Academy, Kadakwasla, a thinker and writer. I welcome Professor Subramaniam Ji for this program. I also welcome Professor R.C. Pandaji, currently the Dean of the Division of Yoga and Humanities, a renowned Sanskrit scholar and formerly the Vice Chancellor of Panini Samskrita Vishwavidyalaya, Ujjain, Madhya Pradesh. I invite Professor Soni Kumari Ji, the Dean of Academics, as well as a renowned expert in management for this program. I invite our Honorable Administrative Officer, Sri Krishnamurthy, all the faculty members of our S. Vyasa and Vyasa, and also all the students who have assembled here for this program. Although the Government of India is declared today as a holiday, still we find all over India the Gandhi Jayanti being celebrated. All over India, elsewhere in the world. I remember when I was in the US, they celebrated. It came on a Saturday like this once. They celebrated, including in the White House. So that is the popularity of Mahatma Gandhi. And Mahatma Gandhi's message is universal in nature. And as we all know, as we studied in our schools and college textbooks, he was one of the greatest thinkers, and he was responsible for ushering in the fighting against the stooges of British imperialism and bringing India's independence to his concept of Satya, Aparigraha, Ahimsa. Satya, the truth. He always mentioned when all the saints, savangs and spiritual masters all over the world said, truth, God is truth, he went a step forward and said, truth is God. And also he insisted upon non-injury and non-violence in work, word and deed. In fact, this assumes a greatest role, this concept of non-violence and non-injury, when Talibanization has raised its ugly head and violence and terrorism in all pervasive forms, including bio-geo warfare, is raising its ugly head all over the world, threatening the peace of the humanity. So in that regard, the message of Mahatma Gandhi, his concept of Satya and Aparigraha, non-covetousness, non-violence, all are very, very important, as he was highly influenced by the Bhagavad Gita and the Ramayana. He repeatedly tells about them in his famous book, Story of My Experiments with Truth. So that was the message. In order to give this, to elaborate about this message, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan 25 years ago established the Gandhi Center of Science and Human Values of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, and in that they went on propagating the values, the eternal values of Mahatma Gandhi to the youth. Dr. Raja Ramanna was the chairman of that organization, and the entire center spearheaded this activity of bringing the message of Mahatma Gandhi in English, in Kannada, in other languages through their more than 55 works. So that way, it's heartening to note that we are celebrating, as per our guidance of our Honorable Chancellor, we are celebrating this Gandhi Jayanti celebrations, and on this occasion, we are most honored to have the most prestigious person, a real Gandhian, Srimati Meena Kumari Deshpande ji, and we invite her for this program. Now I call upon our Dean of the Division of Yoga and Spirituality, Professor R.C. Pandaji, to speak a few words, please.
गुरुर् ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परम ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Honorable Chancellor of this university, Honorable Professor Subramaniam ji, my dear friend and registrar of this university, our Dean of Academics, Administrative Officer Krishnamurthy ji, and my young friends. Professor Krishnamurthy ji, I was sitting in my room and doing some work. He said, "You come, let us go to this Gandhi Jayanti celebration place." I came. Now, our registrar told me to speak something on Gandhi Jayanti. One thing I remember, Gandhiji was a spiritual man, a true spiritual personality, true spiritual. When from South Africa he came to India, then he became a true spiritual man. You see, you remember his song, Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram. Now, Patita Pavana Sita Ram. Patita Pavana, this is the word, adjective he used. For Sita Ram, he has used again, you see. It means Rama alone cannot do anything. Rama with Sita will be Patita Pavana. Patitanam Pavanaha. He who helps the Patitas. Patita means those who are downtrodden. So that is his view. With Shakti, Shiva can do something. Without Shakti, Shiva becomes Shava. Therefore, that is his view. Mahatma Gandhi's view is the lady power, human power is very important. Therefore, he says, Patita Pavana Sita Ram. If any king is here in this world, then Raja Ram. Not other than that. He is the king. You have to obey the instructions, pathway of Bhagavan Ramchandra. Therefore, in Sanskrit it has been said, Ramadivat pravartitavyam na Ravanadivat. You should follow the lifestyle of Bhagavan Ramchandra. That is the intention of Mahatma Gandhi. You see now how spiritual he was. And he followed the way Bhagavan Ramchandra was leading his life. So what I said, in that song, he told many things. He told that you should follow Ramchandra. You should follow the ways of Ramchandra. You should be Satyavadi, you should be, Pitrudevo Bhava. All these Upanishads ideas also come there. And another thing is Ahimsa. Now he is known for Ahimsa, in other countries also. Ahimsa Paramo Dharmaha. This is the statement coming from the spiritual literature of our country. It means our country is spiritual. It is accepting the view Ahimsa Paramo Dharmaha. Gandhiji got that point, and he implemented that to get this in our India independent. That is again, what I want to say is, Gandhiji became Gandhiji because of our spiritual literature, and he acted accordingly. Therefore, he could be successful in getting our country independent. So one thing, because our students are here, So because what we have to do is, first we should obey, we should respect our human power, Sita Ram. Second, we should follow Ramachandra, Bhagavan Ram. Third, he is the only king of this world. Therefore, we should obey the instructions he has given through Ramayana. And ahimsa paramo dharma, that is, of course, we should understand. Through ahimsa, you know why this is yoga? We are the students of yoga. Yoga makes our mind stable. Chitta vritti nirodha. So stable, when the mind, stable mind, when our mind is stable, then we cannot do hinsa. So again, you should practice yoga properly to make your mind stable, to make your body strong. Then we can follow our father of nation. Subhash Chandra Bose has given this name to Mahatma Gandhi. Subhash Chandra Bose, for the first time, if I am correct, I don't know, Subhash Chandra Bose, for the first time, told him he is the father of nation. So, friends, we should follow Mahatma Gandhi. You see, now this is Gandhi Jayanti and our chairs are vacant. Gandhi Jayanti and our father of nation, we only tell in word, in sentence, that he is our father of nation, but we don't respect, I think. All the chairs is vacant. All the students should come here. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I welcome upon our Professor K. Subramaniam, sir, advisor to Chancellor S. Vyasa, who was earlier the Pro-Chancellor of our university, a prolific writer and thinker, to speak a few words about our father of nation, M.K. Gandhi.
Esteemed friends, evil exists in this society. We are not Yudhishtiras or Dharmarajas to find everybody good, everything good. We are not Duryodhanas to find everything bad, everything wrong. We are a combination of both Yudhishthira and Duryodhana. Evil does exist. How to remove the evil? Sri Krishna Paramatma's policy is eliminate the evil at any cost. From the day 6, on the very 6th day after his birth, he started eliminating the evil. Putana was killed on his 6th day. And you find Trinavarta, Shakatasura, Dhenukasura, Akhasura, Bakasura. You went on killing. When he was tired of killing, he made use of Arjuna to kill others. Throughout his life, we find Sri Krishna eliminating the evil. The policy of Krishna is to eliminate the evil. Sri Ramachandra Prabhu accommodate the evil. By all means accommodate, don't be in a hurry. Give a long rope. When Tataki was asked to be killed, Sri Ram questioned, you say it's a woman. Is it right to kill her? Ravana was there on the battlefield without crown, without throne, without chariot, without charioteer. And magnanimous was Sri Ram. Go. Talk to your wife. Be with your wife. Come tomorrow, we shall see. Give the longest rope, accommodate the evil as long as you can. Don't be in a hurry to remove the evil, eradicate the evil. It has its role to play in society. Allow the evil. Keep it at bay. 3, we have Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Assimilate the evil in your abundant flow of love, in the ocean of love. Girish, a person of vices, evils, is received, he is reformed. And today we find in Ramakrishna Math, along with the first 16 disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Turiyananda, Adbhutananda, etc., you find Girish Chandra Ghosh, a wholesale sinner, an embodiment of vices, evils. And that person, Girish, was transformed. And he was made one of the sages. Today, we find Girish by the side of Siddha Purusha Swami Vivekananda. And now Gandhiji. Evil does exist. There are 2 weapons. With the truth, you can swallow it. With non-violence, you can reform it honorably. The Union Jack was brought down. The tricolor was taken up with all grandeur. Today, we are worshipped in UK. Britishers have great respect to us. The credit goes to Gandhiji's policy to deal with the evil. Evil has many forms. In various forms it comes to us. How do we act? Do we react like Sri Krishna to eliminate? Do we react like Sri Ramachandra Prabhu to accommodate until it becomes disastrous? Or do we assimilate it like Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa or Swami Vivekananda? Or do we honorably deal with it to be friends forever with each other? Gandhiji is a role model. This university stands for the 4 streams of yoga. You find the willpower Raja Yoga in Mahatma Gandhi. You find abundant devotion, love for the fellow human beings, concern for mankind, Bhakti Yoga in Mahatma Gandhi. He is a jnani par excellence, is able to be very wise, knows the Upanishadic truth, practices it in reality. And finally, he is a karma yogi. He wanted everybody to have the activity as a part of the day's routine. And a person who has surrendered his all at the feet of the Almighty, we find in him a Purna Yogatvam. I am glad we are celebrating Gandhiji's. I will be more glad if we follow his footprints. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I request Professor M.K. Sridhar, sir, to cordially welcome our chief guest, Professor Meena Kumari Deshpande.
Friends, I am most honored to introduce and give the brief profile of Dr. Meena Deshpande ji. She had a graduation and post-graduation in political science. She worked as assistant lecturer, professor in many colleges in Mangalore, Mysore and Bangalore from 1982 and joined the Bangalore University Department of Political Science as professor and worked there till 2018. Then After her superannuation, she joined the Gandhi Center of Science and Human Values of Bharati Vidya Bhavan. She also worked as the fellow in the Institute of Studies in Industrial Development in New Delhi from 1991 to 1996. From 1996 till date, she is the honorary editor of the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan Bangalore's project of translating 100 works of Mahatma Gandhi in English, 100 volumes, each consisting of 600 pages, into Kannada, of which under her editorialship, 21 volumes have been published. Renowned authors in Kannada, literatures of around 85 people are involved in this project. I remember when I was working in the Gandhi Center of Science and Human Values of Bharati Vidya Bhavan as one of the executive committee member, Raja Ramanna, our chairman, always used to say, Dr. Ranganath, the director, where did Mahatma Gandhi could get time to write 100 volumes amidst his fasting, amidst his waging war against the stooges of British imperialism? And each article, each work is a class by itself. Based on that, another 100 works were edited by Arjun Hingorani. So small books in English. How much he wrote and how many topics, how many issues, amazing. It is impossible for one human being to write, apart from his own works of, his story of my experiments with truth. It is amazing that all this he published. I still remember one statement, every day he wrote, like our Guruji, like messages given by Subramaniam in Young India, starting from 1941. Day in and day out, he wrote the message for the youth in Young India. Unfortunately, the present young generation is misled regarding the name of Gandhi, as there are so many Gandhis in India now. Anyway, it's very important that she, as the editor, published, translated and edited 21 volumes funded by Government of Karnataka. Apart from that, she also has translated Courts of India past and present to Kannada. Then the Prentice Hall Eastern Economy edition has published her contemporary political theory and co-authored several works for which she has been honored with several awards and rewards. To name only one or two of them, she got the Teacher Appreciation Award in the discipline of political science conferred by Government of Karnataka. Most important, the Ambassador for Peace in September 2014 by the Universal Peace Federation, United Nations Information Center for India and Bhutan, New Delhi. She happens to be the sister-in-law of Sarojini Mahishi, the former Union Minister, the former Governor of Uttarakhand. We have such a distinguished Gandhian scholar, a renowned writer to address us, and I request Srimati Meena Deshpande ji to inspire our young students regarding the message of Gandhi.
So the gurus on the dais, and yeah. Okay. So my pranams to all the gurus, and I am humbled by the way Dr. Sridhar introduced me. I was telling him not to. That is for only record purpose. Already Gandhi is being introduced to you. Earlier, the first speaker said he is a spiritual leader, and the second speaker gave us 4 models. And in that Gandhian model, maybe I will. I don't have any right or authority to speak on the first 3 models, but 4th model, I think a little bit whatever I know, I'll just share with you. It is said that Gandhi is such a person, his thinking and action. So even a shadow could not go between his thought and action. That was Gandhi. So what he thought, he acted. And when he was saying that 100 volumes Gandhi has written, it's not just writing, it's practice, what he practiced. So that's what he says, I write unless I'm convinced, unless I practice. So he has not written. His writing is his practice. That's why he said his life is his message. And what is it that we are going to take from Gandhi? And how are we going to remember Gandhi? Because since I was visiting this yoga center, I was just thinking how Gandhi could, as a karma yogi, how could he combine this spiritual growth and be a model, not only model, all those who are around him, whether they are critics or enemies or those who wanted to have some discussion like you youngsters. So they used to raise many questions, and Gandhi used to get into dialogue with them, because dialogue is a form through which, without hurting anybody, we can reach truth. And Gandhi's influence was, when he was young, this Jainism influenced him, and particularly Anekantavada. That is, Gandhi never said, what I say is true, or my truth is the ultimate truth. I have never come across in Gandhian writing anywhere claiming that whatever he is saying is the final truth. He always said, even his his autobiography, if you see, he says it is an experiment. He was experimenting, and in the process of experimenting, he was growing. And this internal growth that was taking place, that we can find in his writings. This internal growth that is taking place. Oh, already Kasturba and Gandhi are here. Little Kasturba and Gandhi. And as earlier speaker said, yes, Gandhi says that there is eternal strife that goes on within, inside us. And Gandhi, in course of time, he came out with one concept which made me study that concept. Wherever he was using that inner voice, or the voice of conscience. So this voice of conscience, Gandhi says, first when he heard it, it was very low voice. And then gradually, he says, the voice became clearer and clearer when he started listening to that voice. So each one of us, we have a voice within us. Gandhi says human perfection is possible. Human beings, they can move towards perfection. May not reach perfection, but once we are on the way, even a step nearing that perfection is our progress. Okay, and Gandhi, throughout his writings, in many places I came across this word conscience, or this word inner voice, antardhvani. And what is this antardhvani? I was just curious to know how Gandhi has used, and where all Gandhi has used this concept of conscience. And finally, he says that the inner voice that speaks to us, how to recognize whether it is the voice of conscience or whether it is the voice of Satan, because both are there inside. Satan also is there, God also is there. Both are there inside, and both the voices are there. So how to recognize whether the voice is that of a Satan or that of a God? So Gandhi has given us a litmus test, a small test. That is, when you act according to that voice, the result or the consequence of that voice will decide whether the voice that you heard was that of the God or conscience, or whether it is that of Satan. So the result will decide. So here if we look at Gandhi's life, another very interesting thing is, he went on expanding his self. This is expansion of self. As Sir was saying, that Ramakrishna Paramahamsa in his, he could accommodate, or he could swallow the whole thing. So Gandhi was growing like that. Gandhi was growing like that, and in his life we have instances of dealing with his own family, and then with Britishers, with his enemies, with those who are his critics. So in dealing with that, Gandhi was following this, he was directed by, or he was guided by this Anekantavada. That is, whatever others are saying, maybe there is an iota of truth in that. I do not know. What I am saying, I do not know whether it is complete truth. So therefore, in the process of finding out truth, he could, the love or the love that was innate in him, that could engulf even the enemy, that he could take away the enemies in his fold. That was Gandhi, so whether with Britishers or with other critics of Gandhi. And another thing that Gandhi showed us is how to live with our own self, with others, because you are all students and you are learning yoga. And if I could say with my understanding of yoga, yoga is union with God. So, but nowadays the word yogasana and yoga, they have mixed up. And everywhere they are using the term yoga, and they have made it, the meaning has changed in wider society, but not here. So Gandhi as a yogi, Gandhi as a spiritual leader, Gandhi as, we normally say, there is a saying that the nama japa should become astigata. So Gandhi was always he was, inside him this recitation of Rama. Ram, 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 Ram. It was continuous. It was continuous in Gandhi, and that is why he could see even in Charkha, when he was doing Charkha, he says it's the music. Okay, and that music again, there he could see Rama. He could see Rama in Daridra Narayana. He could see Rama in those who are suffering. He could see Rama in patient, leprosy patient. So all these things, all these incidents of his life, they make us very clear that these values are eternal values. Gandhi again says, these are not values, ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, sangraha. So he had 11 vows or 11 ashrama principles. And all these, he says, he has not invented them. And being born in India itself is a blessing. Okay, being born in India is a blessing, and being exposed to these ideals, these eternal values, is another blessing. And all of us have that blessing, and let us follow these the path of Gandhi or Paramahamsa, Vivekananda. They have all showed us the way. But unless we walk, unless we take a step, unless we move forward, I don't think we can achieve that. And Gandhi says in all experiments that he was making, spiritual experiment he made, different types of experiment. Even he experimented with diet, he experimented with institutions, he experimented with, in his own family, with the family relations. In all these experiments, Gandhi says, it is God who saved me in all these experiments. That is, he had such a faith, and his surrender was so complete that he could overcome all those voices, which I said, the voice of Satan, he could overcome because of this surrender. And as far as the critics are concerned, so there is, Rahim says, Nindakaniyare rakhiye, bin sabuna pani, Nindakaniyare rakhiye, angana kuti chawai, bin sabuna pani, apna, what is that, character, charita dhuai. So this is what he says. So Gandhi always was surrounded by critics, and these critics, they helped him grow spiritually and apply his the creed of non-violence. Non-violence for him was not just, he could see non-violence everywhere, in relation to others, in relation to nature, in relation with his own self. So how this non-violent principle can be applied. So Gandhi has showed us a way towards that. And the growth of self particularly, he gives the example of a concentric circle. Okay, if we throw a stone in the water, then we see the concentric circles. So the self also should grow like that. First it is only family, then friends, then it includes community, then nation, then the whole world and humanity, and then it extends to even non-human or all creatures. So this is how the concentric circle, there is a possibility of growth. And Gandhi has shown us that this possibility of the growth of human self engulfing the whole nature, that is possible. That possibility Gandhi has shown us, and we have an example before us. And there is another thing that I would like to say, because even in one of the discussions, Gandhi writes, this is the age of disbelief. Okay, not that, because sir pointed out about Taliban and other things, I'm not identifying any of the thing, but in this age of disbelief, it's not 21st century, but Gandhi was writing it in 1906 or so. In this age of disbelief, we should have faith in God. And then there was a discussion about who is God. Each one, they have their own perception of God. And who is God? Gandhi enters into this debate or this discussion of, but he says it cannot be understood by rationality, because rationality is limited. Rationality is limited, and hence he says it's only the heart, or it is only the mind that can see God, not the intellect. So again we have in our tradition the understanding Brahman, how to understand Brahman. We have many Upanishads. So, but it's not just that, it's through experience. Through experience you can feel the existence of God. And he had firm faith in the existence of God. This is not rationally proved. It cannot be rationally proved. It can only be experienced. I think all of you, all students, you may be, you will be guided on these lines as to how to experience. It's experience that matters. It's experience that matters. It is not just the dialogue or a discussion or a debate. And hence, one more saying, that is, I'm going to complete. One more saying, that is, प्रेम की गली न्यारी, तू है तो आपन नाही, आपन है तो तू नाही. If I am there, then he is not there. Unless I go, there is no place for him. Tu hai to apana nahi, apana hai to tu nahi. So let us try to make way to this. Let us go in the path of surrender, and tu hai to apana nahi. Let tu be there, not apana. That is, let me not be there, let he be there. So with this, I close. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I request our dignitaries to release the book titled Subhashita Samputa, a treatise of ancient Indian wisdom, published by Gandhi Center for Sciences and Human Values, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Bengaluru.
Friends, Dr. Meena Deshpande ji wanted to release this book. This is the 10,000th copy. The Subhashita Samputam is edited by Vidwan S. Rajagopal Sharma, a very renowned Vedic scholar, and Shatabdani R. Ganesh. When Raja Ramanna was the chairman, the first volume was published. Today they are releasing the 10,000th volume. It has become the most popular edition. Like that, they also did on Gandhi Vani, quotable quotes of Gandhi, which has sold 60,000 copies.
Now I welcome upon our Guruji, Dr. H.R. Nagendraji, Honorable Chancellor S. Vyasa, for his blessings on one and all.
My dear brothers and sisters, what a wonderful day where we had the stalwarts bring about the grandeur of Mahatma Gandhi. Various dimensions, as Ramesh Chandra Pandaji mentioned, he was able to bring in the dimension of Stri Shakti as the power for Purusha. Therefore, he said Rama and Sita, both. Patita Pavana, how the people who are in the lower things can be brought up by the power of Sita, embedded with the knowledge base of the Purusha. And Subramanianji brought the 4 dimensions as to how we can remove the evil in the society. From Krishna, Sri Rama, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Mahatma Gandhi. And what a pleasure and delight it was to hear our dear Mr. Deshpandeji, Meena Kumariji, who brought out the essential spiritual grandeur of Mahatma Gandhiji. The inner voice gradually expanded itself, went into deeper and deeper realms, and he was able to hear them. Initially with the softness, gradually it expanded and became more powerful and led him through the great achievement that he was able to do. We know that Gandhiji's thing was something most unique in the world. To get the freedom, always people believed it only through the force, by the killing, as Krishna did, Rama did for Ravana and others. Nobody could believe that following Yama and Niyama, Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Parigraha, Shaucha, Santosha, Tapaswadhyaya, Ishwar Pradhana of yoga, we will be able to win the freedom. As she rightly said, critics and critics. Everybody said, you are in an utopic world. How can Satyagraha can bring freedom? Even Subhash Chandra Bose said that we had to build a huge army. He wanted to bring the German forces, wanted to bring forces from Japan and others. He went round the world to bring this so that we'll get the freedom. Nobody could believe that Satyagraha, the Yamanima dimension, can be translated into a freedom movement and see that we can get the freedom. It is one of the most unique things that we have in the history of the whole world. Nobody in the world has been able to achieve this. This is the grandeur of Mahatma Ji. And he was a yogi. I was thinking how he was getting that inner voice, how he was able to make it stronger and stronger in his life, how he was able to follow that inner voice to translate itself into its applications. Every day he was working on the charaka. That was his sadhana. And he said all the disciples in Congress should see that they should work on the charaka. It had practical implications in the form of the people generating the threads and the clothes which provided the necessary dimension of job to everybody in the society, and they can stand at their own legs to combat the slavery of the British. But for himself, it was a sadhana. One day, when he was working on the charaka, Vinobaji comes and he goes on seeing. Continuously, Gandhiji was immersed in the charaka. Vinobaji did not want to disturb him. 50 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes, he was just standing there, looking at Gandhiji, immersed in bring out the thread continuously. At the end, then when Gandhiji came to his normal consciousness, "Oh, Vinobaji, you have come. Why are you waiting? When did you come? Why did you not talk to me?" He said, No, I didn't want to disturb you. But then Vinobaji asked, "Bapaji, something mysterious I see in you. No? So when you do the charaka, from your hand, I am seeing for the last 45 minutes, the thread continuously it comes without a single break. And what type of charaka you have? Old dilapidated model. What type of cotton you use? Very raw, rubbish cotton you use. Anything that comes, you take there. But in my case, I also work on the charaka every day, at least an hour, sometimes 2 hours. But I pick and choose the best of the cotton. And I have the latest model charaka I have. In spite of it, when I start getting the thread, it gets cut several times. In 1 hour, maybe 20 times, 30 times, it goes on. So I want to know what is that secret because of which you are able to do this thing. Then look at the answer of Bapuji. It says, understand, when the thread gets cuts, it is not the thread that gets cuts, it is the mind that gets distracted. Continuous awareness, And this is the yoga in action. Yogastaha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya, as Sri Krishna Bhagavan has told. All the time it should be in that awareness. Every action should be embellished with that continual awareness. And as you grow, the awareness, which was essentially effortful, will turn itself into effortlessness. It will become so full of ease and relaxation. It will become action in relaxation. Then it will go further to bring the happiness and the bliss. And that bliss is silence. Silence is Shanti. Shanti is bliss. So it will further expand itself, go deeper into what we call as the blissful awareness. The blissful awareness is the one that makes a person to get to that level of Atma-tushti. Atmaneva Atmanatushtaha, as it is said. So this should be spread throughout the day. And this blissful awareness continued throughout the day will make a person karma yogi. What is karma yoga? It's something very special. In all the other 3 yogas, Gnana Yoga, Raja Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, you have to spend special time for it, practice. Whereas karma yoga doesn't need that. We have to change our habits, change the way that we do the actions, convert every action we do into a yoga. How is it possible? We always think yoga means doing some asana, or pranayama, or mudras, or bhayan, bandhas, or kriyas, or dhyana. But this is the secret that is contained in karma yoga. And somebody asks, what are you talking? Sitting, standing, eating, drinking, urinating, excreting, everything can be yoga. No, impossible. People say. Then Krishna Bhagavan says, yes, it is possible. Pashyan, Shrunvan, Sprushan, Vigran, Ashnan, Gachan, Swapan, Shwasan, Pralapan, Visrujan, Grunhan, Unmishan, Nimishan, Api, Indriyan, Indriyartheshu, Vartanta Yati Dharayan. He says that sitting, standing, eating, seeing, urinating, excreting, every action can become a yoga. This is the secret that Gandhiji unraveled and practiced in his life. Wherever he is doing the action, whenever he is even with the most difficult situation, he was able to maintain that inner awareness. How to do that? We have the famous work of Mankuti Manakagga. Many of you have heard me talking about this thing. And DVG has brought out that beautiful book in Kannada. Yaradu konegalani madu manadalayadi ವಿರಮಿಸೊಬ್ಬನೆ ಮೌನದೋಳ್ವಳಮನೆಯ ಶಾಂತಿಯಲಿ ಹೊರಕೋಣೆಯಲಿ ಲೋಗರಾಟಗಳ ನೀನಾಡು ವರಯೋಗ ಸೂತ್ರವಿದು ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ. The ramblers of a dullard, as it said. You create, you recognize that there are two compartments in your mind. The inner mind and the outer mind. The inner room and the outer room. We all have this experience. Now we are all hearing, but something deep inside you is bugging. Already, how long he is going to talk? Already it's over, and we have to go for the lunch. Something is bugging you. Or somebody else is thinking, okay, my father or mother has got some problem and then he's in the hospital. What is going to happen to him? Inner layer of the mind, we are all familiar. And outside things are going on. So what Krishna says is inner layer of the mind should be all the time in that silence, in that consciousness, in that awareness, in that blissful awareness, effortless ease and relaxation. Outside you do anything. Logaratakalani nadu. And that is the secret of Karma Yoga. I call it the dual mode operation. When I am talking continuously, there should be an inner awareness. Dhara pravaha inside. And do all activities. So the student should learn this special thing of maintaining the inner poise, inner equanimity, inner awareness, inner blissful awareness. That's the teaching that Mahatma Gandhi was able to give. And it was an embodiment of that realization through his action, karma, converted into Karma Yoga. And as he rightly said, he is an embodiment of all the four streams of yoga, Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga. And he is the role model that we see in him. And how he translated to get the freedom. It's an amazing thing. It's the most surprising thing to many, many people all over the world. And see how he is able to bring the people and how he is able to operate that ahimsa, the satya, has to be brought forth. And our Honorable Prime Minister, realizing this dimension, Narendra Modi ji said, we have to bring yoga to everybody in the country, and crores of people should do that. And this is the message he is propagating in the International Day of Yoga. All of you know about it. And this year they target 20 crores. We reached 18.6 crores of people practicing this common yoga protocol to bring this awareness. And that's the one that probably helped India not to go rampant with the COVID as other countries had gone. And it is this dimension that had to spread. So in this Yoga University, every one of us should do this practice of maintaining the inner calm, inner peace, inner silence, and spread this message of ahimsa, non-violence to everybody, love, compassion, prema bhava, giving, without expecting anything in return. And that will make India again reach the highest heights of Adarsh Samaj. With that, I am so happy that she has been able to bring this beautiful Subhash Samputa, and she said that they are going to print 10,000 copies. And thank you very much. We are so grateful, and it's a marvel that you have been doing. So nice and wonderful. Thank you very much.
Before proposing the hearty vote of thanks, I just would like to inform that the Gandhi Center's publications, 55 books on various aspects, not only Gandhi, about our Indian art, architecture, culture, etc., both in Kannada, English, is at display in the courtyard there. Whoever interested can buy. So it's a very important thing. You can see they are very, in fact, just to mention, when Raja Ramanna was the chairman, we published quotable quotes of Gandhi, she knows very well. It sold 60,000 copies. Then book packs for the young, 10 books, small books like Subramaniam published, Shiva Shakti, like that, 10 books on human values. It sold 60,000 copies. It has reached the president, vice presidents and prime ministers of India, and it has been a popular one. and I'm sure Mr. Ganesh, who is the manager with the Gandhi Center working for the last 25 years, he is there. You can also see those books. Please. Now I request Dr. Soni Kumari, our Dean of Academics, to propose a hearty vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. Respected and our most distinguished chief guest of the day, Professor Meena Kumari Deshpande, Honorable Director, Gandhi Center of Science and Human Values, Bharati Vidya Bhavan, Bangalore. The respected Chancellor of SVSA deemed to be University, Dr. H.R. Nagendra ji, Professor R.C. Pandey, the Dean of Yoga and Spirituality Division, respected Advisor to Chancellor Dr. K. Subramaniam ji, respected Registrar Sir Dr. M.K. Sridhar ji, our Administrative Officer Krishnamurthy sir, and all the faculty. My dear faculty and beloved students, ladies and gentlemen, I consider it a great privilege to propose a vote of thanks to all the dignitaries who have graced this occasion. Professor Meena Kumari Deshpande ma'am, our first gratitude is due to you for the excellent address to all participants, to our students on this occasion. On behalf of SVSA fraternity, I extend my great gratitude to you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Now I request our Guruji, H.R. Nagendra ji, and other dignitaries to please felicitate our chief guest, Professor Meena Kumari Deshpande.
I take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to our beloved Chancellor Dr. H.R. Nagendra ji, who is the founder of this esteemed university, SVSA. I also express my gratitude to Dean of Yoga and Spirituality Division, Professor R.C. Pandey ji, for his guidance to us in all our activities and ensure that we are doing the right thing on the right time. I would like to thank the respected advisor to the Chancellor, Dr. Subramaniam ji, for his inspirational speech on this occasion. I would also like to thank our beloved registrar for his moral support and guidance meticulously organizing this Gandhi Jayanti event on this occasion. I would like to thank Administrative Officer Mr. Krishnamurthy sir and the Campus Supervisor Narendra Sethi and all the technical team who has really arranged this wonderful occasion on the very systematic way. I am very happy to express the vote of thanks to all our staff members and the program coordinators for attending this function and encouraging their students to attend the same. Finally, I thank the wonderful students who had turned up in the holidays day also in such a great manner, in the great number. Thank you so much. Thank you one and all for your kind presence and to grace this occasion. Thank you one and all. And thank you once again to Meena Kumari Madam for her kind presence and inspirational speech. Thank you one and all. Thank you so much.
Yes, let us end today's session and today's program schedule. Thank you all. Please sit in any comfortable position. Close your eyes, relax yourself completely. Let us end the session with Shanti Mantra. Namaskara Mudra, inhale Omkara. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।